Tonight on Global TV News Prime, President Tinubu's mining reforms attract $800 million foreign investment. Nigeria's CNG ambition hampered by poor infrastructure investment. On the foreign scene, Uganda suspends military cooperation with Germany. And in sports tonight, Ghana to miss key players against Super Eagles in Unity Cup. Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Uyi Agumofwebe, reminding our viewers that Global TV is on telling you, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, says Nigeria's solid minerals sector has attracted over $800 million in foreign investments as a result of the sweeping reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu's administration. The minister made this disclosure while speaking in a special interview for an upcoming State House documentary marking President Bola Tinubu's second year in office. Dr. Alake attributed the influx of capital to a new policy focus on local value addition and a tighter licensing regime aimed at ending the direct exports of raw materials. The federal government says it will not directly invest in the establishment of a national airline, but remains open to viable proposals from private or public entities, both local and international. This clarification was made by Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, in a post on his official X account, stating that government's focus is on creating a policy environment that supports growth and sustainability of existing local airline operators rather than directly funding a national carrier project. The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, has commended President Bola Tinubu for promoting religious tolerance in Nigeria, saying the move is responsible for the economic gains recorded across the country. The Sultan gave the commendation at the commissioning of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Darul Center for Islamic Studies in Kaduna, built and donated by the Director General of the Department of State Services, Tosin Ajayi. The Sultan, who urged Nigerians to de-emphasize religious and ethnic differences, stated that it was the ability of other economically successful countries to overcome these differences that led to their greatness. The North Central All Progressives Congress APC Forum has raised concerns over the worsening humanitarian crisis in Plateau and other parts of the country, blaming the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction for what he described as a poor and ineffective response. In a statement issued by its chairman, Saleh Zazaga, the forum accused the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nentawe Yilwadda, of failing to rise to the occasion, particularly in his home state of Plateau, which continues to suffer from violent attacks by armed herdsmen and bandits. The minister, a former governorship candidate of the APC in Plateau State, was appointed in October last year following the resignation of Senator Simon Lalong. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says he is pulling out of all previous agreements reached to resolve the lingering crisis in the People's Democratic Party (PDP) owing to fights on to justice is attained. The FCT minister said he had pointed out to Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde that he is the architect of the party's present problems. Wike also said he told Oyo State Governor that adherence to or non-adherence to agreements reached is the bane of the party. Before any meaningful conversation begins in Igbo land, one sacred item must be presented, and that is the kola nut known as Ojiigbo. It symbolizes peace, respect, and hospitality, as well as carries deep cultural and spiritual meaning. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, visited Avu Autonomous Community in Owerri West, where elders performed the traditional kola nut ritual and shared insights into its significance.
In Igbo land, kola is very, very important to our what? Visitors. This is what we use in order to receive our visitors with a good word mind to show that we are happy.
At the heart of every Igbo gathering lies a sacred ritual, the presentation and breaking of kola nut, known as Iwoji. This tradition unites families, honors visitors, and invites blessings. In our autonomous community, the ritual remains strong. Here, community elders gathered at the home of Okenze Nathan and Nadi to perform the ancient rites of Iwoji, the breaking of kola nut.
Ishopi ototo taa ogegoroje ọ Nigeria nọ n'udo. Onye nọ nga ọ ya nọ chi ama. Egbe gbegbukulu ka egbe gbukulu egbe.
The ritual is deeply symbolic. The kola nut is never cut with a knife, but broken by hand, and by only an elder or a titled man. Once blessed, it is shared according to age and status. In most cases, a younger man distributes the pieces to those present. The sharing of kola nut follows age and rank, a teaching tool for respect and community structure. Women do not perform the breaking in line with the long-standing customs.
Yes, according to our tradition in our yes. Oji, that is kola, the native kola, precisely, have significant understandings. Like the one that I'm holding here is about 5 pieces. When you break it, it signifies numerous delivering of children.
They differentiate the kola nut within the Igbo kola nut and that of the Oji Goro. We call it Goro by name. Now, Oji Igbo, normally we use hand in breaking it. We don't use any object in breaking it because it has its own separation. When you separate it, it identifies itself, the male side of it and the female side of the kola nut.
There are concerns that the younger generation may forget its meaning. Elder Wadiegwu Amadi has this to say.
I'm from the elders because we now, as elders, we were youths before and we are now elders. We learned from our elders. That is why we have something to tell them. They should learn, otherwise they will grow without our tradition.
From ancient time till today, Oji Igbo remains a living tradition, a symbol of identity and togetherness among the Igbo nation. As they say, the kola nut does not understand any other language apart from Igbo language. From our autonomous community, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Well, thank you so very much, Amarachi, for your reporting. Let's turn to other stories now. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, has inaugurated the Benue State Command School Protection Squad as part of the broader Safe School initiative launched in Makurdi. Represented by the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 4, Zakaria Achian, the IGP emphasized that the initiative reflects his administration's strong commitment to safeguarding students, teachers, and educational facilities across the country. Egbetoku noted that ensuring the security of learning environments requires close collaboration between educational authorities, community leaders, and security agencies. In another development, Governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, says he has no plan of leaving the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Tesu Kula, Alia stated that the report that he was planning to leave the APC due to the crisis in the party's Benue chapter is laughable and lame. Kula in the statement noted that Alia's loyalty to the APC is not in doubt, stating that there is no form of crisis in Benue APC. Lagos State government has approved the advancement of local government staff who hold the diploma certificate in local government administration to level 12, a development announced by the chairman of the Local Government Service Commission, Kamal Bayewu. Bayewu stated this during a working visit to Shomolu local government area of the state, where he stressed that the recognition removes barriers to career progression for local government employees. The diploma program is coordinated jointly by Lagos State University, LASU, and the Public Service Staff Development Center. And now to education. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has released the results of its receipt examination conducted for candidates affected by the technical error during the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. In a statement released by its public communication advisor, Fabian Benjamin, the board announced the results, revealing that out of the 336,845 candidates rescheduled for the examination, 21,082 were absent. He stated that no explanation was provided for the high number of absentees. Niger State Governor Umar Bago has inaugurated a 20-year short-term development plan for New Bida Town. It disclosed these at a town hall meeting and stakeholders' engagement on the New Bida 20-year development plan organized by the Ministry of Lands and Survey in collaboration with the new Niger Development Project held in Bida. Governor Bago explained that the plan aims to strategically modernize the city in line with its administration's vision of urban renewal developments across the state. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime here on Global Television with Uyi Agumafwebe. When the rest of this news broadcast returns shortly, Uganda suspends military cooperation with Germany. We have those details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories right behind this break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
We appreciate you so very much for staying with us here on News Prime. This second part of this news broadcast returns now with business, where the Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria, in collaboration with the federal government, has reaffirmed its commitment to deepening the adoption of compressed natural gas, CNG, as a cleaner, cost-effective alternative to traditional fuels, urging stronger stakeholder engagement, investment incentives, and policy clarity to accelerate its uptake across the country. Speaking at a webinar hosted by the association, spokesman and the chairman, Hub Stockman, highlighted the process being made by members, and particularly in the retail and rollouts of CNG infrastructure. Stockman called for consistent stakeholder engagement, fit-for-purpose infrastructure tailored to urban centers, as well as traffic corridors and the introduction of incentives such as tax waivers, concessionary loans, and access to foreign exchange. As we turn to Nigeria's northeast now, Adamawa State's government says it has increased its internally generated revenue, IGR, from 7 billion naira annually in 2019 to 17 billion naira. Special Advisor to Governor Amadu Fintri on Revenue Services, Chiwaren Abubakar, disclosed this on a live radio program aired on Adamawa Broadcasting Corporation in Yola, the state capital. Abubakar stressed that upon Governor Fintri becoming the chief executive of the state in 2019, the state was securing 17 billion naira as annual revenue. Chairman of Mojek, a leading meter manufacturer in sub-Saharan Africa, Mojishola Abdul, has commended President Bola Tinubu's Nigeria First policy, which bans the importation of products that could be produced locally. In a statement, Abdul described the policy as a bold and visionary move that signals a new dawn for the country's industrial and economic advancement. Speaking on the policy, which prioritizes the patronage of locally manufactured goods and services, specifically in government procurement, Abdul stated that President Tinubu's Nigeria First policy is a strategic and transformative initiative that will unlock the vast potential of Nigerian industries. And now to the foreign scene, where Uganda Army spokesperson says the East African nation has suspended all military cooperation with Germany, claiming the German ambassador is engaged in what he described as subversive activities in Uganda. The escalation follows another army statement which alleged some European diplomatic missions had been supporting negative and traitorous groups opposed to the government, also singling out German Ambassador Matthias Schur. It comes as Uganda faces increasing international condemnation over its treatment of the opposition. Russia has intensified strikes on Ukraine with the highest number of drones and missiles launched in a single night yet. Ukrainian officials say at least 12 people, including 3 children, were killed and dozens injured. The attack was the second large-scale assault on the country in 48 hours, coming a day after the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, had suffered one of the heaviest assaults since the start of the Russian invasion. A newly appointed United Nations envoy for Cyprus says she will work hard to ensure concrete progress in measures to build trust between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots in hopes of reviving moribund talks to heal the island nation's half-a-century ethnic division.
Maria Angela Hogan said her week-long stay in Cyprus aims to generate tangible results ahead of a July meeting in Geneva that will bring together UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres and Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriot leaders, along with top diplomats from Greece, Turkey, and the United Kingdom.
We are agreeing that we have to work hard this month until the next meeting with the Secretary General in July, and to have some results in all the agreement that they had in the meeting in March. That was a very good atmosphere. The Secretary General continued to push for the Cyprus file, and I'm pleased to be here, and I am going to work very hard to have something concrete for July and to see what happens after.
Trust-building measures include talks on opening new crossing points along a 180-kilometer UN-controlled buffer zone that divides a breakaway Turkish Cypriot north from a Greek Cypriot south, where the internationally recognized government is seated. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Now time to turn to sports for you. Ghana's Black Stars will be without several key players for the Unity Cup Invitational Tournament in London. Head coach Otto Addo is yet to make public his squad for the Four-Nation Tournament. A number of the players have pulled out of the competition due to injuries and club obligations. And back at home, Sporting Lagos have hit out at the officiating that saw the team lose Nigeria National League NNL clash to Gateway United. The game was overshadowed by controversial decisions made by referee Adebayo Kudus. Sporting's Shehu Akonji appeared to score a perfectly legitimate goal, but Kudus disallowed it for offside. His assistant referee had run back toward the center circle to indicate a goal. Real Madrid have confirmed Xabi Alonso will replace Carlo Ancelotti as their manager. The ex-Spain midfielder, who won the Champions League with the La Liga giants in 2014, has signed a 3-year deal. Earlier this month, Alonso had stated he would be departing Bayer Leverkusen at the end of the season. And now let's end the news with a recap of some of our big stories tonight. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, says Nigeria's solid minerals sector has attracted over $800 million in foreign investment as a result of the sweeping reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu's administration. In business, the Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria, MEMAN, in collaboration with the federal government, has reaffirmed its commitment to deepening the adoption of compressed natural gas (CNG) as a cleaner, cost-effective alternative to traditional fuels, urging stronger stakeholder engagement, investment incentives, and policy clarity to accelerate its uptake across the country. On the foreign scene, Uganda Army spokesman says the East African nation has suspended all military cooperation with Germany, claiming the German ambassador is engaged in what is described as subversive activities in the country. And finally, in sports, Ghana's Black Stars will be without several key players for the Unity Cup Invitational Tournament in London. And that's how we draw the curtains tonight on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. We encourage you to kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. Also, you can download our app from the different stores, including for your Android and iOS devices, to help you keep track of our 247 broadcast. On behalf of my colleagues who have made tonight's news broadcast possible, I am Uyag Mofwegbe saying we appreciate you for the time you've invested with us. Have a big week ahead of you.
Oh,